So let's see if ENCE is another surprise in force, because G2 is susceptible to upsets. In fact, it might have been upsetted by Heroic in the first day of the group stage if it wasn't for just a mind-blowing performance out of m0NESY. And I think that's the big question that G2 has to answer for us is, what is this team if m0NESY has a pedestrian game?
It's just average, isn't it?
Well, it feels like we haven't gotten like Nico arriving to CS2 quite yet. So yeah, question marks if m0NESY isn't hitting shots.
I hope he does arrive to CS2, and maybe here in Katowice we'll get to see that. m0NESY and Nexa, the first 2 kills of this round, but Goofy is fighting back, and he's got himself 2 of his own. So no bomb plant yet, but ENCE certainly will lock those digits in. Now Kylar punches them through, and we'll see a CT fight going down against the rejuvenated Hades. Swing around, couple of CTs coming their way, and Hades double dash right through 2. It's just Nico left alone, and he's coming back in from jungle. So plenty of work here for Nico to do. No kit on his back, and no hope in hell at the moment. He's got to worry about CT. That's the last spotted player, but he's also got to worry about a plethora of angles, and now he knows where Goofy is. Nico runs out, does take him down, and 7 health left for Nico in this one. Taps to try and draw Hades into it, but that time is ticking too far gone now, and Nico, when he does go for that fight, loses it, and a celebration for ENCE, as they just look to bring the energy early.
Yeah, some big boy shots from Hades over at CT stairs, but you got to give some credit to Kylar, because Hades is fully blinded. Kylar's the one being enough of a distraction, enough of a nuisance to allow Hades to come unblind and hit 2. Yeah.
I'm loving Kuben Cam. I'm loving it. This tournament, he has had some great facial expressions. Just, it's been a wild ride between him and God B. He's had like the positive train.
Yeah.
You go with God B, you just gotta get sad.
Yeah, Kuben's just like, I haven't hit shots like that since I was a young man.
Oh my goodness. It's great to see Taz standing behind this G2 team as well. It'd be fantastic if he turned into a mainstay coach in Counter-Strike. Missed his presence at big events.
Listen, if you can fix G2, you pretty much carve your out a spot as a coach. Nice kill from Hooksy. The peak with the 5-7 being aggressive, a little bit of chip damage onto Kylar, and going to back away. In a round like this where you invest in pistols, scout on m0NESY, that 1 kill, that 5-on-4 is quite nice to have, because the scout hasn't even been put in play yet.
And Hooksy's had a couple of rounds, hasn't he, at this event where he's maybe exceeded our expectations on his individual level. But m0NESY, well, he just keeps pushing our expectations further. He's in the apartments, he'll hop on out and decides he's going to change his position up at the 1-minute mark, so G2 will maintain that player advantage.
It's chewed a lot of time off the clock though, and he didn't see numbers more than just 1, so you can't really do anything with it if you're G2 except make educated guesses, and they're going to keep 3 players parked at this B bomb site. 47 seconds left on the clock, and this looks like where ENCE is going to end up. Coming up Catwalk as well as Goofy, and he'll have a job to do if his teammates encounter issues.
Smokes on over into this B-bomb site. And the trio look to hold it. Hunter is the first. It's not worked out too well for Hooksy. D-Hot cuts through them, and a second in for D-Hot as well. So they've got the B-bomb site overwhelmed. Next, Nico on the extremities. They only have pistols and no chance. So they'll just sit back, maybe an exit or 2, or maybe they can get this first and run in.
I'm not going to lie, that felt like there should have been more resistance from G2.
Yeah, definitely
I thought that would have been a harder battle for ENCE to get into the bomb site. At least now, though, they are blocked in. So now the plan changes. You're not going to win this if you're G2. Go for some exit kills. Kill some on the escape.
Here's Nico's Deagle, and we know how famous that blaze can be. But he's taken out after 1. Swift upgrade for D-Ha. He's done his work on the MAC-10 and absolutely deserves that upgrade. And there's that fight in short, watching through the monitors.
Yes.
Of the G2 players.
That is the back of Nexus head.
Yeah. Fresh fade, looking good. Hoping to show that in the SPO deck. D-Ha, here he is, hopping on out. That MAC-10 doing good work. Yanko was talking about this sort of environment that they've been able to bring to this ENCE team and sort of rejuvenating Hades and getting him back on board. It's been great to see his step up in this tournament. He's among the top rated players at this event, a 1.4 rating across 3 maps play in the group stage. Obviously, they've had the play-in.
Honestly, I really like Hades' game. I think he's a lot of fun to watch. That's one of the more exciting, like, individual matchups, I guess you could call it. In this series for me is like the m0NESY versus Hades toe-to-toe. Whose AWP is going to have the most impact? Whose AWP can be the most crucial factor for their teams?
Yeah, and Hades has a bit of a chip on his shoulder about, you know, he got removed from ENCE because he couldn't really find too much consistency with his game, and they were bringing in some Pius. Pius obviously proved to be a very good move.
Individually, he was great in 9. That team just couldn't figure out how to win games as a team.
They weren't on vertigo.
Yeah, just in a general simplistic way of looking at it. Like that team, I always thought did so much cool stuff and just could not find ways to close out maps and win games.
Unfortunate, but they have found themselves in ENCE. And so far, ENCE find themselves 2 players up against Pistols, and G2 are just waiting desperately to get the gun round out. And that's what they want. Last year, the storyline that dominated the headlines in Katowice was the fact that Nico had never won, despite so many finals here in Katowice, finally got his finals last year. That's such
I saw a smile bust out on Nico's face when that happened, because you know it's just like, what the hell even is this?
Yep. Well, hopefully he can smile again this year, but here we go. Gun rounds out, m0NESY on the AW.
Well, that's also what's so concerning about like feeling like there's been like a little bit of a loss of step for Nico into CS2, where we haven't seen him here the way we would like and the way we're used to seeing in CSGO is when G2 is at their best, when they won Katowice last year, when they won Cologne last year, it was the 1-2 punch of m0NESY and Nico, Hunter being in there at times, but mostly m0NESY and Nico just going beast mode together.
Yeah, 2 of the very top players in the world inside of one team. So hoping to see Nico gain that step back in CS2. He's top middle. He's taking a few steps in this round, and he's going to stand around here alone.
Yeah, but look at the mini-map and focus your eyes over towards Palace that's just being smoked off. Diha's here with a MAC-10 and the bomb in the back of Hades. This feels like it's always going to end at the A bomb site just because they're so committed in through Palace. So regardless of what everyone else on the map does, they're going to try and find a way to meet up at that A bomb site. Now, the real issue for ENCE at this round is m0NESY and Nico have complete control of middle. They've heard nothing. They've seen nothing. This utility is not going to scare anyone because they're in these positions feeling no pressure. So at some point, they're just going to say, guys, mid's clear. Like, ignore this catwalk smoke, ignore what's happening here. It's going elsewhere.
ENCE looked to pop Nexus head.
Well, it's Kyler who just deletes Nico from Con. That's a nice shot from Kyler, and even the spam, the return spam through the smoke by the MAC-10 gushes up Hunter. Defense is forced to go passive.
And Nexus slipping closer into the bomb site around the back of that smoke. It's Diha that is the first victim of the rifle, but Nexus couldn't quite control the garden hose for the second kill. And oh, m0NESY, you don't see him miss those often, even on the second chance. Kyler takes him out, and G2 are out of this one.
That's not what you like to see. That's not what you like to see at all. Just battered and bruised, and ENCE have a nice easy round. Hades will fall, but that's going to be the last kill, and G2 going to save a couple of M4s.
I was saying in the previous series, I bumped into Tesses when they had that opening game versus G2 in the groups, and he was just saying, damn, we got wrecked by m0NESY. Just m0NESY. Imagine if he didn't have a great game. And then we look back at the context of that performance, it was just astounding, really. Like, G2 didn't look that good, and m0NESY just dragged them through, kicking and screaming, and got them that W.
Yeah, such is the prowess of m0NESY.
I mean, they've spoken about it many times, in particular, even on your podcast, Jason. Nico was saying these 16-year-olds, these 18-year-olds, they can all grind a lot more than the players.
They sure can.
And that's certainly going to help when a new game comes out, when you've got to figure out CS2 and the little quirks that it has.
There's always a 16-year-old gamer with more time than you. That's one thing I've learned in life.
And if there isn't, well, maybe adjust your lifestyle.
Well, it was Katowice where m0NESY started making his name into a household.
Oh yeah, back in 2022. That was one hell of a Katowice showing.
Incredible performance, incredible clutches.
It's always Katowice, man. It's always that like event that's the breakout for these prodigy players. Dalton this year, into the playoffs already. Let's see if he can get up to that same level that m0NESY showed us in 2022.
Donk might even be living up to the expectations even more than m0NESY did at the time. His appearance in Katowice under these lights here is absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it's just about when that playoffs kicks off and seeing how they handle the pressure.
It's a different beast.
It definitely is, and his screams won't be heard by the other team.
He'll still be doing them, though.
Oh, he'll definitely be doing it. Maybe he'll get away with the words he's been banned from saying because no one's going to hear them.
Oh, banged out. Nice shot from Diha. No hesitation on the swing. He's the only player at the A bomb site, and he's just like, I'm going to steamroll through this place.
Yeah.
Nex is up in Palace. I don't even think he's going to hit the timing. Maybe as they come up con, he can wreak some havoc, but there's just way too many bodies and only one defender.
And that defender is the lone Power Ranger of Nexa, who stays inside of Palace.
Which color Power Ranger would he be?
G2's jersey's black, so I got to go with that one.
Black Ranger?
Yep.
Okay.
And Diha, right now, I don't know.
What dinosaur would be his Megazord?
You know what, Jason? I'm not going to lie. There's two things I skipped out on watching as a child. Pokemon and Power Rangers.
Okay, sure.
So, you know, I watched a couple of episodes of it, and you're probably more familiar with Megazord dinosaurs than me, unfortunately.
All right.
But I do know they made a lot of new movies about it. That kind of sucks.
It's a lot of franchise.
Well, this is quite a franchise performance from ENCE right now. 5-0. Where's G2?
Yeah, both of the favorites today, G2 and Vitality, just getting buried early on and playing these recovery games. Neither of them has been able to get out, and I mean, I think there's only been like one gun round to really speak of. So in some ways, it's kind of like par for the course. But ENCE is looking sharp. Look at these shots we're seeing come out. Even with rifles, it's not like there's a whole lot of a chance for rebuttal for these G2 players when the engagements do come in. So Taz, for the first time, gets in the ear of his players, tells them to wake the hell up. And as much experience as him and Cuban have in as players, and Taz obviously continuing his playing career for much, much longer than Cuban, it's Cuban who now has the advantage between the two of them in terms of coaching experience.
Yeah, one of the first early adopters of coaching was Cuban, and man, he was a coach when I was 14 years old. So he's been here for a while.
Yeah, he's been around the block. It was one of the first things Taz said to us as well when we saw him here in Katowice. He came up to us in the hotel and I was like, "Hey man, how's coaching going?" He's like, "It's a lot. I gotta figure out the teams we're going up against, and more importantly, I gotta figure out my own team too." It is
probably the more difficult challenge.
It is a daunting, overwhelming task stepping into this coaching role.
Yeah, you got to deal with a bunch of different personalities and see how they all gel. And your first time as a coach, it'll be an interesting time for Taz, certainly. And we've got a lot of reunions coming up here in Katowice. And that is m0NESY dead. 1 kill so far from m0NESY. Hasn't arrived to this game at all. And that's going to be frustrating for him, just getting caught through that smoke. Can't do anything. There's no fight to be had from m0NESY here. Yeah,
what a nice counterplay from Kyler. Nico's going to roll over, but because there's such a stack at the A bomb site, they're going to leave that in place. They're going to just trust Nico, and if they go B, round's done. Here, they have a phenomenal chance. Hooksy at the back of the site. Next on Hunter, aggressive towards A ramp.
The split at the ready. Hunter and Nexa still moving forward. That old crazy push, and Goofy comes back in to clear out Hunter, but they haven't detected Nexa. Now that second player ramp is going to give away his position, and that plant is coming in around the other side of default. So bomb is down, Nexa taken out, and 6 rounds in a row here for ENCE. Absolutely flawless so far.
Yeah, Kyler even finds Nico at the B bomb site on a little bit of a lurk through all that hits going on. Jam. ENCE is looking good.
There's 12 kills so far total for G2. We're not looking too hot at the moment, watching this G2 roster. And you asked the question before this game began, what happens if m0NESY doesn't have a good game? What does this team become? They haven't had a round yet.
Still waking up.
Still shaking off that dust. They've been waiting around, watching that Vitality exit. And now it's their time. They pushed a Palace here, G2. That's some control for Nico, and he's still moving very slowly. I do love the fact that Glaive just had like his best performance ever, and then returns to normal form after he just
after beating Astralis.
Like,
yeah, that was
I'm just
great.
Gonna step up with the best performance I've ever shown as a professional player.
Yeah, I even really like that Astralis team, but there is still something satisfying of just seeing someone just a game that obviously is going to mean so much to them.
Ooh, Hunter somehow finding Sanctuary at the top of the fire. Those flames not tickling his toes.
Got a crossfire as well on a 5-on-4. Ooh, there's the Deagle peek, and the SMG does work. Hades close up with the off. What are you gonna do? No scope and escapes as well. He's even hunting him down. That's why we like Hades. gets a little bit of a highlight reel in action.
That's sick from Hades. Mechanical skill on display. Now m0NESY looking to show us what he's got with that deagle. Missed shot on that first. And a shot of that AWP whizzes on by his head. He wishes he had one in his hands, but he does not. And ENCE are into the bomb site. Bomb is down, and an AK-47 now in the hands of Nexa. NiKo boosting him over the top of short, seeing if Nexa can get eyes on Hades, and he will. So the underworld closes, and we've got a 2v3 as G2 still peppering the remaining defenders in this post plan. Kylar at the back of the bench is spamming down as much as he can, and it's m0NESY on 3 health. Oh, Kylar peeks up, and those kills come in for G2. It's the most unexpected round win for them to find.
Yeah, it really was. That felt like it should have been ENCE. After Hades gets that double kill, they get into the bomb site. Even in a 3-on-2, it feels like they should be able to hold that off and just shots not landing. Look at Hades, though. This seems so crazy. That's one of those plays that never enters my brain in that situation, because I'm like, I got red HP. I'm not jumping through that smoke with an AWP, but he handles it well.
He couldn't even see it coming.
Nexa and NiKo cleaning things up inside the B bomb site. G2's on the board in a timeout immediately. Taz trying to get the boys fired up to continue building on that victory. Build a little bit of momentum and claw this half back into their control.
Taking a lot of time pondering over the purchase here, G2. HooXi yet to buy. Most players still with pistols in hand. We'll see those picked up weapons off the floor enter the hands of Hunter and NiKo. Terrifying players with AK-47s. And m0NESY, of course, has his weapon of choice lying on the floor. He'll pick up his special tool, and we'll head into round 8. Hunter just tossing out that disruptive utility towards top middle, and m0NESY is starting to be a little bit more active. He's going towards short, searching for this opening fight, and he's not alone. He has got NiKo, who is now making his way up top mid. m0NESY blinded for a moment, then peeks out, secures a kill on Goofy. And now NiKo worried about possibly being pushed from the underpass, but utility's going to keep that player at bay.
He's got to make a decision if he wants to bail out or stick for the fight, and yeah, after that, when that Molotov's coming to its close, he doesn't want anything to do with it. Everyone backs away. m0NESY's off catwalk as well. As this round enters the mid-round timing of things, we'll start seeing the defense shift. AWP is going to reposition as well. ENCE is still very spread out on the map, so they haven't made any decisions of where they want to end up. Everyone kind of probing, everyone seeing what kind of information they can gather. A little bit of utility to see if it forces anyone into the open.
Yeah, that lack of bomb is certainly going to indicate.
Well, it's going to end at the A bomb site. Hades has fallen back from B, so he'll pick up the bomb on the way.
Oof. They've lost another player. It's not going to be much of an attack here for ENCE. So they picked up the bomb. They're trying to get through window, and NiKo. Good crosshair placement, just waiting for that player to come through the window. But Kylar has decided he doesn't want to go in that.
I think this round just ends in a stalemate. They just call a save at this point. 20 seconds for them to make a move. Dia's close up to the B bomb site, but Hades backing away to T-spawn with the bomb. So yeah, this round's done. Second round for G2. They survive with all 5 players. Flawless victory as well. No one's taken any damage. They get to build up some money, and they'll close the gap just a little bit further.
And that's just 2 kills from m0NESY when he gets the AWP out to secure this round 2. It makes it uncomfortable for ENCE. They never find the positioning that they desire to go for an execute, to go for the final move, and they just have to call it off. So Taz has fist bumps and high fives all around, and we get to see m0NESY here in mid. That's a good shot, and then a nice reposition for the flick up short. Still seeming good spirits for G2.
Yeah, they're probably used to being down 2-6.
Yeah. Gotta always come back. That's one of my favorite additions to the Counter-Strike scene, is those frosted glass windows that like go up and down in between it. We've seen some great energy across the teams in this competition, and this is great energy from ENCE out middle. Okay, sick headshots. That's G2 just crushed instantly.
Yeah, what a rebuttal from ENCE. They're just like, okay, play middle. We'll throw out extra flashbangs that you won't expect.
Ooh, Glaive getting uncomfortable. But HooXi is just put down with utility, so Diha's got the angle. HooXi flicks back and smashes him in the face.
Yep, but what can you do? Molotov now down in place. ENCE has infested this entire A bomb site. There's nowhere Nexa and HooXi can go. They're closing the gap as if they're going to challenge for this, and HooXi's actually put in a doable situation. Nexa's going to keep coming. One more kill towards CT spawn, and it's on, and Hades just a little too overeager. It's time to rein it back in, boys.
Oh, they do not rein it back in. They rain down on HooXi, and he gives them a headshot in return. It's suddenly only Goofy, and what a goofy round this is being from ENCE. They've let this slip after opening up middle with 3 kills. They walk into HooXi thinking the job is over, and HooXi, on the rare occasion, steps up with a really impactful round here. Tap on that defuse, not committing to it, and HooXi with the 4K. More of that, please, Mr. HooXi.
No business winning that. And that is composure that ENCE has not yet developed in this lineup's young lifespan together. That is them being way too loose with things. They felt they had the advantage and they were right. They pressed that advantage and they got a bomb plant. But at some point after that, you need to calm things down. Someone on the team needs to tell everyone to chill. That's too much from Hades. That's a long time that you don't have information in CT spawn. You don't know someone's shifting in that position. And boy, do you get punished. And again, those are the rounds as the underdog team looking for an upset. You simply cannot let slip away.
Well, they have let it slip away. Now time to try and pull those socks back up. It got the purchase yet again. So all out for Hades, AKs around it. So you've got everything you want to have a swift response. That's got to fuel HooXi with some confidence.
We've seen both twice now today. In the earlier matchup as well, Vitality for Heroic. Now ENCE on G2. ENCE and Vitality both letting 4-on-2 slip away for no good reason. Just bad Counter-Strike. Aggression A ramp to take control with Nexa and Nico. But it looks like a B split is coming into effect.
Yeah, if they got connector into A, m0NESY's waiting for them. And
it's a long time with his vision open for m0NESY. Thankfully, he hasn't slid out.
Yeah, definitely risky. Leaving that chance open. Oh my god, get hard cleared, Hunter. Oh my goodness. He could not stop that. But HooXi, what has he had for breakfast? Another double kill. He's done enough to keep G2 ahead on the player count here.
Yeah, but keep an eye on the health of m0NESY. Only 10 HP. He's going to be a really late play in towards market, especially with an AWP. So if Nico and Nexa can't create anything, can't find a kill, m0NESY's just bailing out. Diha
and Glaive. 2v3 post plank. Diha has to change position. Fortunately, didn't take damage from that Molotov, so they don't know where he is. But now he's up against 3. They will surely find him in just a moment. And what a clear from m0NESY. He didn't even give the rifler a second to hit the shot.
No, that's fast. That is real fast from m0NESY. Double kill for him and a solid retake, and G2's right back in business.
Oh my god. Yeah, this round's a great example of how he earned the nickname The Flash.
Yo, Kyler's been sick in these B halls.
Yeah, he's been great.
He's been actually amazing, and I think if you're ENCE and you're Glaive, you're happy to keep letting him play with freedom over there, and that might be something you want to follow up with, because I think he's gotten about 3 rounds, 3 openings at that B bomb site that you can kind of rely on at this point. First time out for ENCE. 2 have been used by G2 so far in this opening half, just to make sure they can rebound from this hole.
Nico towards window, not seeing any presence, not seeing utility dump upon him, but eventually that smoke will land. m0NESY looking to compete through the underpass. Kylar, we just sung his praises. Well, his timing is impeccable to step back around the corner, and that timing to take a step back has actually allowed him to stay alive, because m0NESY would have certainly hit that shot, and now he's looking back towards ramp instead. Oh, m0NESY's going back this time, but Kylar's close. Oh, m0NESY's dead to rights. Doesn't even get one out of it.
Yeah, again, like very aggressive, running into it, scoping into it. Plenty of information for Kyler and Goofy to be gathering and ready for those engagements. That's a banger shot, and this defense is gutted.
absolutely gutted. Nexa at least gets that headshot, needs another one. He wants to draw this back to even numbers on that player count. So the bomb plant is coming through. Hades will secure that, and ENCE now with a 4v3. Now, they lost a 4v2 previously. I think that's been a slap on the wrist to focus up in these situations.
Yeah, also this one is really contested even as the plant goes down, so nobody's going to be too crazy. Goofy's still waiting in underpass, but no indication the retake is happening means he doesn't have to make a move.
Yeah, and HooXi's coming through connector, so once he does that, it'll be Goofy's timing to peek out for the underpass and take out HooXi. And Nexa trying to battle his way back in from Ticket, but it has not really got that far. Nico, the time is too far gone for him to have any real effect on this round. He is going to drop back in towards the connector and die.
It was always going to be a really unlikely retake, and I think in a different time of the half, G2 probably just saves that, but they got so much money. They have no problem just throwing those rifles away, going for a miracle retake because they have a full buy in the next round. Good kills from Goofy. Bang! Hunter goes down. What a round from Goofy. Puts together a triple kill. And a 3-round lead heading into the final round of the first half.
So Glaive gets the mid control without any resistance. He's got to worry about other positions such as short and ladder room, and he's going to see the trajectory of those grenades. And no, there are players currently positioning themselves at short, so he'll send that Molotov up, and he's out of there. So they apply pressure mid early, and then they drop back.
Yeah, show some presence, and we'll see how long it takes for them to readjust on the map. Kyler looks like he's still going to be coming in through the underpass to lurk eventually. He can challenge the B bomb site again. As I mentioned, they might let him just keep having freedom because he's been so successful on that part of the map.
Deep Molotov to keep back Kylar. It's pretty good. Kylar is confident. And he's going around that corner, seeing if he can spot HooXi jumping. You can hear those steps, so you know you're going to get a time. You're at least going to get a chance. It was such a tough shot to hit. And HooXi drops off after the warning shots whiz by. But m0NESY, another unorthodox missed shot from him. And he's knocked out by Glaive. So blistering through this A bomb site with a headshot now creates space for ENCE. And you've got another superstar on this team in Nico trying to step up, but he's distracted, transitions back well enough to get one, but the rest of the kills are all here for ENCE. 29 seconds left. HooXi on the rotation over, but his teammates haven't given him a very easy round. He'll have to do it all on his own.
HooXi's been balling, bro. Like 11 kills.
Crazy.
That's a 6 shot.
He beat HooXi. He absolutely do beat HooXi, but not this round. Diha spams him down. What a strong showing from ENCE as they want to take a step closer to qualifying themselves to the Spodek.
They're going to go hunting as well. Ooh, cheeky angle for Snacks, but everyone else removed. 2-0. I'm not talking about the series, not yet at least, but Mouse are trying to get there. Gamer Legion's first full buy, AWP will be delayed as a result of taking that full eco round 2. Hopefully we can see Acor come off to a stronger start in this game, being on the favoured half for an AWP. Less necessity for Torshi to have it if they're going to be running fast executes. Mid-take for Mouse delayed. Expecting more utility than maybe Gamer Legion do throw. It's just Isaac rooting Donut. Triple B, the first gun round.
And I really love how just independent Brolin is, how much faith they have in him. To put pressure on as a one-man unit.
He's faking very hard right now, keeping 3 players here.
That leaves just 2 in defense of this A site. Volt backing off into Donut. Does have a man alongside him. It's him and Isaac.
Shui's coming through on this lurk as well. Check him out in middle. He's about to cause a problem, cause commotion at the back of the Donut. Volt jammed in, does get a kill. There's a second lurk in mid, but Brolin dies to the red swing, and now they're in trouble. Torshi needed to live after that kill, but he simply couldn't afford to. Volt, same story. Tucked back, deals with his kill very well, leaving Jimpat in a clutch.
Quick reload, going to top up the M4. He's going to need all the bullets if he wants to withstand this one. Smoking through, but they're on that bomb. It's the 10-second stick. Kios trying to hold it. His teammate watching on. It's a little awkward, and the defuse just comes in time. Right before Yumpa can make it through that fatal funnel of smokes. Game of Legion steal that one from under Mouse's nose. And so they're going to get their first on the board early.
Yeah, that was pretty desperate for Mouse because they have all the control, but they still don't plant for Donut. They still don't give a setup there because they don't have Donut yet. Shui was late on that lurk. They smoke it off and they just go for a safe plant, but that's where they choose to take in the post.
Another super T-side call by Glaive here on Mirage. It could have even been better, Jason, if they didn't lose that 5 versus 2, but it's still 8-4 and still in the lead and feeling good about their chances of taking down G2 today.
Exactly, but that's the thing. If G2 mounts a comeback here, if this gets down to the wire, if this ends up going to overtime, we're going to be looking back at that 5-on-2 round and just being like, come on, boys, what are you doing? Why does it have to be like this? Let's see what their defense has in store for us. Kyler and Hades to be at the A-bomb site. Diha and Glaive manning down middle. And Goofy's going to be over at the B-bomb site.
Glaive and Diha. They're the mid players here for ENCE, and they're looking for this fight. Good nade. Oh my god, that's one of the best nades I've ever seen. And Diha's going to step up with a triple off the back of it. He didn't even need the grenade because he just hit all headshots. And Kylar flicks up to Palace. That's the pistol, just like that.
Yeah, when the kills come out in mid like that, 3 kills for Diha, it forces Nico to make a play before he wants to. He's got to try and catch somebody off guard, wants to hit a timing where someone's attention is shifted away, and there's just no joy in that fight. Goofy's pushed up as well, so m0NESY's got the bomb, but there's so much danger in this route he has to walk.
It's time for m0NESY to sign. And he's going to go around that corner. Goofy's waiting for him, and m0NESY, oh my god, did get an opportunity to flick back, but Kuben's very happy about how that pistol went.
I guarantee you he's pointing at him and chuckling about them because they had a conversation and Glaive said, I know exactly what pistol round we're going to run. I know exactly what to do. I know exactly what they like to do. And it worked perfectly, and Cuban thinks that's funny.
Yep.
Taz probably less so.
He loves it. He loves it. Diha, obviously the destroyer in mid. But you know what's great about this team as well for Glaive? The fact that there's probably a new respect found for him. You know, he's probably not had as much respect from the teammates that he spent a long time with as time went on, but just with the sheer achievements and how little some of these players in ENCE have achieved, going into a team with Glaive, you have no other option. You've got to respect the tenure of him, and it's probably a really nice thing to have.
Especially when you spend the last year as 9, you know, being competitive and looking dangerous and being an interesting team, but never being able to like break over the hump into consistent tier 1 events and in terms of breaking into being able to actually challenge for series victories. So now, yeah, you add an in-game leader like this with the pedigree that Glaive has, and I think all these players are just going to be happy to have that experience and that voice behind them.
I'm all here for this Glaive comeback. I'm all here for the Glaive comeback.
Yeah, it's looking good, isn't it? We can't quite sell it just yet, but early returns are quite nice. That this ENCE team is interesting, is intriguing, can be competitive. Full investment in this round for G2, which is netting them absolutely nothing. Without any kind of a bomb plan, next round is going to be an even weaker buy. And ENCE is getting closer and closer to just taking this map straight up.
Diha? Oh my goodness. Kylo is with him. And it's 10 rounds now for ENCE, certainly taking steps closer. It seems actually they're sprinting to the finish line at the moment. Seems like you're going to have a little tech issue here for G2 and hopefully get that one fixed as quickly as possible to return to this action. But to be honest, it hasn't been that competitive, has it? It feels like G2 haven't shown up to this game at all.
No, it's given me very similar vibes to the first map between Vitality and Heroic as well, where it's just like, this isn't the Vitality that we want to see here. This isn't the Vitality we're used to.
At least Vitality came back into the map, at least. They made it competitive. We just haven't seen that sign from G2 yet. And again, it's another quiet map here in Katowice for Nico. It's 6-11. And no, obviously m0NESY there with him, 6-11. It's just not enough fragging output at the moment from G2. And that's going to change soon. It won't in this round. In all most certainty, it's just Nexa on a Tech 9, a Deagle for Nico. So the pistol should be cast aside. And ENCE are staring down the barrel of an 11th round.
And Dia's got so much confidence right now.
Yeah, you can't stop him. He's feeling confident.
All right, Goofy, chance to stat pad. 3 players headed your direction.
Ooh.
First one's down, that's m0NESY. Second one you see firing off from the windows. They might get forced back off this. That's a superficial damage from the Glock.
Yeah, it's like the dink sound makes you feel like you've done a lot more.
And look at how long they're giving this round time to breathe and let someone peek into Nico with the Deagle, and just like no one's doing it, not without a flashbang at the very least. No one's even giving the opportunity for this Deagle to get into action and pick anyone off. Ever since that round, that 5-on-2, they've seemed a little bit more locked in terms of playing smart, playing intelligently, valuing your life a little bit more, not giving easy kills away.
We started Katowice in the plane with ENCE having 0 expectations.
0 matches under
and
the
now
belt.
it's actually not all that surprising to see them leading against G2. It's surprising to see the fashion, but they've got it in them to beat this kind of team. But right now, this badly, it's incredible. And there's a shot finally for Nico. He's been looking for that for quite some time, but Hades running over to plug the gap. He'll do what he can, and Glaive will come to close. And there he is up in the Hall of Heroes, looking a little younger. And he's more mature in a different banner and a different jersey. A whole lot has happened since then.
All right, let's see. Let's see what we've got. This is the last gasp of G2. It's just so calm on the inside of things. They're not stressed. They're not worried about anything. G2's buried in a 7-round deficit. All up in the hands of m0NESY. That's at A ramp. Nico and Nexa joined up with them.
It feels like G2 needs some sort of spark to just fire them up, like a big play, a big clutch, a big round, something for G2 to just shake out of this. Feels too pedestrian at the moment. Here goes Glaive throwing that grenade down into ramp. It's perfectly placed to land on the head of Nexa.
No one's actually in the A bomb site though, so if they actually start streaming up A ramp, obviously G2 can't know that at the moment, but it's going to end up being a retake scenario because Kyler's going to stay passive behind the utility. And just now Nico's starting to jiggle and starting to make his move up the ramp.
Coming through connector, G2 attempting an A split. And the defense isn't really set up to deal with this too well. You've hoped that Goofy can get back towards CT in time, but it doesn't look great right now for the defense. And Goofy has actually got towards CT. G2 taking the time.
But they've slowed it. Okay, good Molotov. Kyler's going to be forced into the open. He's just,
we got one.
He wins one. He wins one, and there's the burn. Goofy goes down as well in spawn, and that even all that time had not bought a whole lot for ENCE's defense to shift over to this bomb site.
D-Hot, he can disrupt this though. He's close in jungle, not ready for Hunter to be around the corner. And the Bloodhound smells blood. It is now Glaive left alone, coming through Palace. And this is better from G2. Yet to plant that bomb, and m0NESY's considering the flank from Glaive. He's looking towards Palace intermittently, but his timing has worked in favor of the Danish in-game leader. He comes out, m0NESY's down, but is Glaive going to detect the second player close towards ramp? And that's Nexa, and he absolutely won't. So smashes the back of his head in. And 5 rounds now for G2, so I must win that.
Yeah, that's a good round. That's a good round, I think, helped out a lot by the defense that ENCE called. Out positioned right out of the gate. and given a lot of freedom to walk up ramp, a lot of space to get comfortable up ramp, up connector before there's any kind of resistance. I don't know how many more rounds you'll get that are that free to get that kind of map control. But they do cut the lead down to 6, and they force a timeout out of ENCE. And they break the money of ENCE, really. Only Kyler and Glaive have any kind of cash to speak with, so I imagine we're going to see a weaker buy from ENCE.
Yeah, it's crazy how little money they have. And what a story would be if ENCE do make it through to the Spodek. Is the team currently leading the way? It's unlikely, but
damn.
We've got Diha, local Katowice boy. Let's see if he can make it all the way. But they've gone for the buy. They've gone all in.
Yeah, I didn't expect that. But Glaive had money for an op, and he's obviously got a lot of faith in Hades.
For good reason. Hades has been sick in this competition. And Kylar, it's an interesting position against m0NESY, and it's not going to work. That's the rifle.
Yeah, and that can't be recovered. There's no chance at recovering that whatsoever. Glaive's going to walk it. They're already up ramp as well. Glaive likely to go. Oh, no. He found Nexa, and Nico never peeks off the ramp.
Yeah, that shot is chef's kiss from Glaive. Out towards ramp, he now has a rifle that he recovers off the corpse of Kylar. And that push from Diha has given it right back over into the hands of G2 and Nico. But now they know there's an op on the field. As Hades making that work against HooXi, and Nico decides to strike out Glaive. So 3v2, G2 have the advantage, but for how long can they hold it? This fight in mid goes the way of Hunter, and that should confirm it now. Hades should absolutely save this weapon.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to be allowed. Well, actually, maybe Hunter doesn't look too ready for it. And a good shot from Hades.
I'm not a huge fan of how that round ended up playing out, but not, you know, cool ideas in there for ENCE, I guess, to try and recover things. So I'll hit some nice shots.
The term I always use in this scenario, Jason, is interesting.
Yeah.
And Hades at least has a chance to save it. But we get to watch that early peek from m0NESY's POV. And you do just get a free kill. And then the push of Diha after Glaive worked so hard to get that Deagle headshot.
The reason I don't like that especially that follow-up push from Glaive is I feel like there wasn't a lot going on the map. It's not like you had some information that 2 or 3 players were taking control of middle, that a couple players were in B halls. It was very quiet on the map. It just takes some risks and eats the wrong end of it. 5-round lead for ENCE. And this time it's just the op. This time there's no investment around it. So Hades will try and get a couple things done, but if push comes to shove, he's going to save that weapon as much as possible.
So this is the pathway for G2. This is the opening back into Mirage. Simultaneous streams running all the way through the group stage. Over on that other stream, Mouse versus Gamer Legion is underway. How's that going, Jason?
It was an overtime victory on map 1 for Mouse. Map 2 is underway. No need for spoilers. If you want to watch it, pull up a new tab. Head on over there.
USPs, P250, and the big green. Hasn't really worked out for ENCE just yet. G2 taking their time, and the only player on this bomb site is Glaive. That timing was a little awkward for m0NESY. Fortunately, Glaive didn't have a weapon worth talking about. And Nico comes out of Palace, punctures his brain, and this will now be a 7th round for G2. That save, as you mentioned, Hades. He's got that over in the apartments.
Yeah, but this now becomes like a new. The nature of this game is gonna change. There's still a little bit of a lead, so ENCE is feeling just fine. But there's a difference between playing with such a big lead and a little bit of momentum to when a team like G2 takes that away from you. Ooh, took a while for Hunter to spot that body. Goofy gets a dink off, and that's it. But you know, when G2 start coming back into this, then it changes a little bit. If they win the next round, all of a sudden, I think ENCE is going to be under quite a bit of pressure and quite a bit of stress to figure out a CT defense that can actually be effective and work.
Yeah, Nexa. It's a big kill on Kylar, and Hades is the main one they want to get rid of. And they do it. They take the op out of his hands. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, that is a little painful, especially because they can't afford one in this round. So Hades will be dropping down to the M4 instead.
Swans have given G2 a lifeline to stay in this game, and second chance to wake up and warm up, but it's D-Hush straight away with that opening kill. It's HooXi that's gone down. And this will give ENCE the player advantage for how long? Because m0NESY always under pressure. Because there's a second player there, you confirm that trade kill. And there's no rifle support for m0NESY. He was there alone.
Yeah, well, and ENCE ain't going to figure this out, but the bomb is actually in B halls. It just gets smoked off just now, so G2 should have an avenue to pick that up and run away. Next is like, oh, thank God.
Oh, wow, okay. They're given a huge luxury, actually. That's very fortunate for G2 that they're able to get away with that bomb without it being detected by the ENCE players. If they had seen that, they could have got right on it, and Nexa would have had to deal with a lot more utility, a lot more pressure. But they're given a chance here, G2, and they'll pick it up and move away.
Yeah, this settles back into a pretty standard round. Nico's going to head to Palace. Hunter and Nexa likely to just head straight to ramp. And they'll see what they can get against Hades and D-Ha. Keep your mind on that AWP that m0NESY dropped on the underpass stairs. You imagine Kyler or Goofy in a victory is going to make a mad dash to pick that up for Hades in the next round. But first, they got to win this.
And that's Hunter just clearing close corners, making sure no one is close enough to unravel the plans of G2.
D-Ha has a smoke to use if he gets into a little bit of danger. And there it is. That's a smoke to help create some space so he can be activated a little bit later on.
He is certainly in danger. He's running away, and his teammates are all rotating over. So Hades has got that headshot. He's got more. Hades just rips them apart and puts Nico into this clutch. What's Nico got? And it's a headshot to the brain. So that's all falling apart, and it's now ENCE on map point versus G2, 12-7. This isn't even going to be a competitive first map.
No, it's going to look like that little 3-round streak from G2 was just a little bit of a gasp of life, and that's about it. D-Ha opens things up. He's been a menace this map, hasn't he? 18 kills for D-Ha so far in Mirage. Leading the server, but not far behind is Hades with 17. Just one more round for ENCE, and they take their map pick in this series.
m0NESY with utility ready to toss out to middle. And Nico juggling between them. And this is the last stand for G2. They've gone over their timeouts. They've had their opportunities. They've got every weapon they want. Maybe bar that AK on Nexa, but they've got the ult for m0NESY. They've got to be perfect from this point onwards to stop ENCE taking Mirage.
Yeah, and the G2 we've seen so far is far from perfect.
Punctured all over. Hunter enters short, and we have under a minute left on this clock, and here comes Hades around that corner. Oh, he's got them, lining them up. The double kill is swift, and a 3v3 established thanks to Nico's kill back. And Goofy now inside of this B bomb site. He's the players we set eyes on, and he's got rotations coming to help him here, looking to try and close G2 out here on Mirage and end this chapter of map 1. Goofy peeks, there's the kill on HooXi, and a second in this awkward engagement in the apartments. Goofy's taking multiple headshots, but because that brick wall is protecting him against that Galil, he'll stay standing for a second longer. But they've both fallen in that B side, and it leaves Glaive in a 1v2. They're damaged goods, and Glaive could clutch this.
Poor Nexa had hit 5 headshots to get that kill. Glaive's going to shift over, there's no kit.
And we haven't seen the Glaive performance we've seen prior against Astralis. It's been much quieter individually. But he has an opportunity now to close this one out. But there's so many angles he's got to worry about. And he doesn't have the utility. He doesn't have the kit. So this becomes an almost impossible clutch. But what a shot. Glaive gets it down into the 1v1. And now it's against Nico, the second best player in the world last year. And Nico's not going to let this one slip. No scope to the chest.
Yeah, Glaive had to just make a decision there. There was a kit right in front of him if he was to win that fight. Had plenty of time to pick it up and get the defuse. But he had to make a decision, a guess of where that follow-up peak was going to come through. And Nico's just stoic the whole time. Couple nice shots with the AWP from Nico. This one just turning the corner into a no-scope. That's 8 for G2. And they've taken, once again, the economy away from ENCE, so it's just pistols.
So another opportunity for G2 to get back into this game then. 4 to tie it up. 4 rounds in a row to get us overtime. We've had a fair few of those today. And Glaive goes forward with that 5-7. Flash play to set him up around the corner, and damn, Hunter was ready for that.
Yeah,
oh my god.
His feet didn't even touch the ground. Picked right out of the sky, and that even denies him from seeing any more information. They didn't catch any information on how many players were actually there. It might as well have just been all Hunter. Good rebuttal, good response from Kyler, but need a couple more of those.
Ooh, Hades nearly provides you what you want, and he does eventually on the more difficult shot. And now the pistols come to play. Oh no, G2, not like this. Not in this round, up against the weaker guns. This first map is about to slip away. Hades dives down into the sandwich. m0NESY going for the clutch, but he can't stop them. The Enceladus rages on. Map 1 is taken, G2 fall away. And this romantic story of Polish potential is still here.